Check, 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 check. Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna hang out for a minute. I know there's probably not a lot of people awake yet, but I wanted to get some information in as quickly as possible as this model's coming out. There, sorry, I moved the microphone. You should be able to hear me better now. But yes, some things have changed overnight. Actually, they've changed within the past hour as far as looking at things coming in. So we're going to take a look at what's actually happening outside, what we see coming, how this earlier abandoned some lower temperatures earlier in the day than originally expected, how all that's going to impact everything. I've got the map up here. You can see kind of the beginning of this model. It's still, okay, it's fully loaded now. Let's look at what's going on outside at the moment before we dive into the model. Pull up the winter weather radar. So it is showing some more of this snowy precipitation. It's not really snow, it's more sleet. Maybe a little bit of freezing rain a little bit further south down here in Georgia. I'd say a mixed precipitation with some actual rain happening a little bit further south. But again, while this is kind of showing snow, it's actually sleet. This wasn't expected to come in this early, and predictions weren't for this to be as cold as it is. Let me look right now and see what the actual temperatures are showing. We were supposed to be, around freezing or a little bit above freezing right now. We're actually at 30 degrees here in Appleton. We are starting to see this become a little bit warmer. And let's step back a little bit and see this kind of picked up really quickly, started pushing in. Now let's go ahead and dive into the model. I'm going to say that I am seeing things become more similar to what I posted yesterday evening as the day goes on. So here we see kind of this mix in the area. Even though this is showing snow, I'm still seeing, mixed precipitation, a little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain. This wasn't really expected. And if you're just joining in, again, I'm just kind of going over this real quick because temperatures are a little bit colder than they expected to be this early morning. So we might get a little bit more of a chance of snow as these colder temperatures work in for a little bit. This is 8 a.m., 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see some of these locations better. And so we see this warmer air trying to work its way in, but this cold air from the northwest is coming in a little bit stronger than it originally was supposed to. So we may actually see a couple of snowflakes this morning, then you see this freezing rain really start to push up, and then it's going to take a break. So this is noon. This stuff before noon was really not expected originally. It wasn't showing up on any models. And see, then you start to see really what I was discussing earlier. Oh, we're still working on updating. Okay, so still getting that model coming in. After 1 p.m., we're still waiting on that information to come out. Let me go see if there's any discussion. What's in the chat? Yeah, we got a quick burst of sleet this morning. And with it getting colder overnight than expected, it's kind of sticking to stuff a little bit better. It's kind of frustrating when things change as they're happening rather than an hour before. And here I'll show you an example. This was the model that came out around 6 a.m. this morning, and it didn't really show much going on right now. There's a little bit of freezing precipitation, which I kind of discussed shouldn't really lay down on the streets very well, and you don't see really anything else happening. So this was the previous model at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. We start seeing some stuff happening, but it wouldn't really lay down yet. 11, and then noon, and then you start seeing some of the stuff start working in, like I discussed last night. So this model was released just an hour ago. The HRRR is released every hour. So let's go back to the one that's loading as we speak that has drastically changed. All right, so let's, we see this kind of wintry mix throughout a lot of the area. This is 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon. We start to see that first band that kind of popped up make its way out. Then 1 p.m., see how far we can go. We can go another couple of hours. 2 p.m., 3 p.m. So we see a pretty big break for most areas except some of these more northern counties. Ray, Meigs, Bledsoe. So we're looking at, a little bit of a break coming in around 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then we start seeing some ice and rain work its way into the area around 3 p.m. And we don't have the rest of that model loaded yet. I wanted to get this information out quickly because I know some of you may be getting ready for work. If you have to go into work this morning, things like that. Know that things are different. This is all coming in very different from what it was looking like even just an hour ago. I was actually planning on making a quick run to get some sausage to make some sausage gravy this morning, make some biscuits and gravy, and now I'm going to go out and take a look and see. I may still do that because this stuff really shouldn't be setting on the roads yet. It's probably going to be sitting on the cars where you have that nice cold metal and cold glass for it to kind of lay down, melt just a pinch, and then freeze, as a sheet. So if you do have to go somewhere, remember that you're going to have to warm your car up beforehand and melt that off. Ice is a pain, and we are sitting in this place right in between rain, ice, and snow, with just a couple of degrees difference making the change. It's frustrating, it's unfortunate, and just a 1 degree, 2 degree difference can make a huge difference in what we actually see. If you have any, Nathan Lewis says the roads are fine right now and he's on his way to work. I know he works around the Chattanooga area. If you see anything starting to stick on the roads before noon, please post it as a comment, and we'll take that and make sure that that information gets shared. Make sure that as many people can see it as possible. I am still thinking that with this extra band, we shouldn't really see much sticking on the roads probably until around noon, but we're going to keep an eye on it just to make sure. And then look and see how the rain and periods of rain can wash that away. Be careful out there this morning. Hold on real quick. We got Billy Burnett, great friend of mine. Can I make it to the RV show in Atlanta and get back? I mean, you can try your best, Billy. I know you're very capable, but let's see if we've loaded any more of this model. So we're going to swap and we're going to pop back because this is finicky. So we are going to see, while it's coming in colder, it looks like things may come in a bit warmer than previously expected, and we may see some rain working in more this late afternoon, more rain than ice than what was expected. And again, if you're just kind of popping in, I'm going to work up a full text update just to kind of update everybody as far as these changes, how they should affect everybody, the roads, what's going to fall from the sky, and all of that. Tiffany Martin's asking, I'm expecting power outages in Grundy County. Emergency dispatcher trying to plan on if I need to go home or stay at work. Tiffany, I do think that around Grundy County, it is possible to have some power outages as we are seeing, even in the areas that are becoming more rain, we're seeing a lot of this pink. And earlier we're seeing, some of this sleet and rain, a little bit of light snow working its way into that area. So I do think it's possible, as this stuff kind of sticks to trees a little bit, it starts to weigh the tree down. And that's really, as the trees fall here and there, they come across the lines, cause some outages. Anything that's poorly maintained as far as the lines go, with weight and added moisture, that can affect it. So I would say that's, something I would definitely consider, but we'll look. Tiffany, I'm not sure what time you are going to work and going home today, and that could have, that could come into effect and be, oh, sorry, my brain's not awake yet. I need my cup of coffee. But yeah, Tiffany, the timing really determines the answer to that question. I'd say if you're heading home right now, you may want to wait a little bit. If you're talking about in general, if there's power outages possible, yes, it is. Are we saying the roads are going to be okay from Donna Christian Low? I think the roads should be okay for quite a while, especially this morning, even with this added kind of snap of cold precipitation. Is it safe to drive to work in Hickson currently? It should be safe to drive to work. Amber's asking, when should we start worrying about road conditions? Let me take another quick look. Swap back and forth here. So, again, this could change. Unfortunately, we're sitting right at that line in temperature. And we're seeing out to 6 p.m. now. I would say be cautious on the roads this morning. And the road conditions could worsen around Ray, Meigs County, Hamilton County, Sequatchie, Grundy, up here, these northern Tennessee counties, especially the higher elevations. I'd say those are going to be the primary areas where you should worry about road conditions. And I would say after 2 or 3 p.m. If you're in Central Time Zone, that'd be 1 or 2 p.m., of course. But it's looking like we're getting a lot more rain than the previous model that came out just an hour ago. As we work this line, this is something I'm going to be monitoring throughout the day, because I do think with us being right on the borderline in temperatures, we're going to see some bouncing back and forth like this. So I'll probably pop in live here and there, and then if I see a big change in conditions, I'll post a text update as well. Let me go through the comments here just a little bit more. See if we have any questions or worries. It's already raining ice up on the signal. It's a sheet of ice, unfortunately. Earlier than folks thought. That's from Ray Carlin. If you could please let me know if you know anything about the road conditions up there. I think the ground still should be decently too warm, even though we got a little bit below freezing last night. You know, the ground takes a lot longer to warm up. Caitlin's asking if we're looking at actual snow downtown. I think we may see some flurries, but I don't think it's going to be anything actually significant. Let me back up a little bit. So this band that's coming in a little bit early is showing some blue, but with some pink mixed in here. I think that that's really going to be more of a mix of sleet and snow, morely on the sleet side. Do crews around here salt roads? We aren't used to winters here. Crews do salt roads. They also use brine on the roads, which helps everything melt. It freezes at a much lower temperature than normal. They also monitor the roads and do whatever they can. College Dell's getting some sleet as well from my friend Chanel. Sleet in Hurricane Creek. Daughter just drove from Trenton to Volkswagen. She's a highway patrol dispatcher. Said the roads were wet. Sleet was falling on her way there, but she made it without issue. Thanks, Martha Plumley, for that information. A lot of people talking about driving home this evening, and right now, honestly, I'm seeing a lot of rain. Unless if you live in higher elevations, I'm seeing a lot of rain work in where we originally thought things were a little bit colder. So it's seeming like we're colder now than we expected, but we're going to be warmer later than previously expected. Let's see if we can go a little bit later. I know a lot of people are looking at 9 p.m. So here's 8 p.m. here. So I'm really seeing mostly rain, some light rain. And a lot of people saying it's sleet. So Lori's asking if sleet is better than freezing rain on power lines. And yes, that's absolutely correct, where the sleet just kind of bounces off and rolls away and then kind of settles and freezes where it's sitting. Freezing rain actually falls as a liquid, and then when it strikes a surface, when it's super cooled, it then freezes where it's at. So it's able to coat power lines and trees a lot better. So sleet is definitely better. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tie this up. I just wanted to jump in real quick as things changed rapidly and the model showed different information very rapidly. I will be updating here soon to let you know what I'm seeing as this model finishes updating. Since so many people are asking about 9 p.m., we'll stay on until we get this through 9 p.m. Oh, it's looking like we may have... This is one thing that annoys me about this program, is you have to click back and forth as things update. Alright, so here is 9 p.m. where we're still seeing mostly rain in the area. These high elevation areas are seeing more freezing mix. Let's look at what it's looking like as far as like actual laying of freezing rain. So it's a lot less than originally planned. We're looking at hundredths of an inch. So we're looking at 0.05 of an inch there throughout these higher elevation areas. So we wrap around, that seems to be the case. So if you look in the bottom right corner here, it says freezing rain accretion, and that really is where it works to predict how much freezing rain actually lays down. compared to quantitative forecast, which is how much is falling. You'll see these numbers are higher, and it accounts ground temperatures and conditions on the ground to work between what's falling, what's going to lay down, what melts, and then what actually sticks around. So we're seeing much less when it comes to how it's going to stick. Let's step back a little bit and look at this morning situation. We're not seeing a lot of sticking of ice on the roads and ground. Maybe a little bit down here in Alabama around Fort Payne, between Scottsboro, Stevenson, Fort Payne, making its way over towards Lyerly, Georgia, Tryon, and Summerville. So a little bit down there. And we're going to play that game back and forth between rain, freezing rain, a little bit of snow flurries. Erin Spratt, I work with her at Key, asking if I go to work tonight, will I be able to make it home in the morning? Yes, I believe so. The way everything's looking right now, we should be okay. If you can stay home, if you don't have a need to go out and around, don't get out. Don't put yourself at risk, especially if you have kids. Don't put your kids out in the risk of this winter weather. And then as we make the conversion over to rain, we may see things improve. And really, right now, it's looking like we're going to mainly have risk on higher elevation areas. I need to go back to, I'm so used to clicking over quickly to, where am I? My brain just glitched for a second. Precipitation type, there we go. So you see, other than the higher elevations, we're seeing this warmth push up a lot more strongly. We're seeing a lot more rain rather than ice. So maybe we're really looking a lot about rain and a little about ice. Hopefully that's going to be the case. It's going to make things a lot easier for a lot of people. And I'm going to go ahead and jump off here now that we've been able to see through 9 p.m. on this quick update. Work up some information and try and give you the best synopsis as I can. It'll probably be maybe an hour or two because I want to see what this next model does as well. Since we had such a big jump, I want to see how it trends, if it's going to keep these warmer temperatures or if it's being affected by this quick blast of colder air. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful morning. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you later today.